So hello and welcome. My name is Dall and I am privileged and honoured today to be here with my dear friend and colleague Amanda Brooks for us to explore more about her work that she offers to her clients. Now, just to give you a little bit of background on Amanda's journey so far. So Amanda's been practicing now for 32 years, and it has been a journey of learning and experiencing and gathering wisdom so that Amanda can share more and more of that with you, her clients. We've known each other for 21 years and we have worked alongside each other, but also we are great friends. And along the line, we have had many laughs and a few tears. So, we know each other really well, and it's just such an honour to do this today. Amanda's purpose, I asked her that question earlier. What is your purpose? And she shared that it is to dissolve outdated patterns and behaviours that stop us from truly stepping into who we are. It's like having a shadow or something that just stops us from coming home to ourselves. And I think that that's just such a beautiful passion and purpose to hold in your heart. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Joe. I must admit, when you asked me the question, I went through all the technical ways of this, that, and the other, and I thought, nah, this is what it is. It's that dissolving, the
Yeah,
dissolving of the outdated beliefs and patterns.
yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful, really beautiful. So today we are going to explore Amanda's chakra program. Now, this is something that I really embrace. We know a lot about chakras, but for you, the listeners, this might be something that you're going, I'm not sure what that means. So, first of all, can you share, please, what led you to create the chakra clearing program and what it is, please?
Yeah, so it all happened on Boxing Day. I woke up and it was just like suddenly I was given all this information of I need to do this, this, and this, and I need to support people in all the changes that are coming up and coming through with the world the way that it is. And it's, yes, it's going through things now, but it's always going through things. Our energies are always being affected one way or another. But the chakra system themselves, there's many different viewpoints about how many chakras there are. But in this particular program, I'm just working with the seven major ones. There are more, many more that are coming in. But the way that I see it, these seven major ones, they are where there are nerve plexuses within the body. So there's a lot of biochemical information occurring at these points. What happens is that if our energy is off kilter in any one of these areas, then it affects the nutritional information that goes to all different organs, different parts of our body. It can affect how we feel emotionally, physically, psychologically. It's all of that. So when I woke up, because I'd been toying with the idea of it, I've been thinking, I know people need more support, but I don't know quite how it is I'm going to do this. And it was just, I was told all the things that I'd been working on for over 20 years all needed to come together in one program. And my first thought when I had that was like, oh, not sure I can do that. And do you know that what within 6 hours, I had the whole structure mapped out. It was like I'd sat down, wrote, and then when I looked at it, it was like, oh gosh, yes, it will work so amazingly well to support people because that's what it's for. It's to support people with day-to-day living. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, for those people who are new to chakras, can you explain a little bit more about what they are? I
Mhm.
know you've explained a little bit about what they are, but I know that there's seven. You mentioned seven.
Yeah.
And why do they matter in everyday life?
So, as I mentioned, there's the seven, and we start at the root, which is the base of the spine. Then we go to the sacral, which is between the base of the spine and the navel. Then we've got the solar plexus, so that's just above the navel. That's a lot of places where people have like that tummy turnover, that nervousness, that anxious feeling. So a lot of people kind of know about that sensation. Then we have the heart chakra, then we have the throat, and then the brow, and then the crown. And so the way I see the chakras, they are like gearbox for a car. Energy from each one feeds the other. If one of them has got like a hinky piece in it, then the energy is not flowing. So you can get like what I call kinks in the field. And you could start to sometimes feel unsure of yourself. You might feel really ungrounded. You might have anxiety. You might be overthinking. You might not be able to express yourself properly. You might feel closed to love. These are all things that can be affected when the chakra system themselves is what I call cloudy. It's murky. It's got that way because our subconscious hasn't been able to process what's going on around it, what's been happening in our lives. So yeah, have I answered your question?
Yes, you have. I think some people are aware of chakras, but they don't actually know what they are. So that hopefully will help just to enlighten them a little bit about where they are and what they do and how they work. So can you explain about the program? What is it? How does it work? What can somebody expect from the program that you offer?
So it's an online program, and you can dip in and out wherever you require. But in there, what I have, so how it's come that is the best way to support people is that I have three parts for each of the chakras and also for our energy field, that place around us where we go into a room and we can feel, oh, I like it in here or I don't. So I've got that also included. So we've got what's called a water program. And so it's a program that is using certain technology that allows the person's drink to be programmed with a specific frequency. So I have one for each of the chakras. Then I have a tailor-made MP3, which has specific clearings for you and the ancestral line that may have blocked in their specific line around a certain chakra. And that's used sort of like once a month to help to clear unnamed patterns because we don't always know why we feel like we do. And what I've also got in there are affirmations specifically for each of the chakras. So an affirmation is when we put a why word in place, which then gets the subconscious looking for, well, why is it I feel safe? Why am I happy? So it starts to look for the positive sort of like energy pathways. And so for some people, they are dipping in and they will use like the root chakra if they're not feeling very stable. There's some that, want to be very spiritual, want to be more intuitive. So they might use the brow chakra. There's the people that just want love and want to feel affection. So they might just focus for a week or two on the heart chakra. And the way that it is you can go into any part of it and work individually, or you could run, if you wished, through a week, the whole of the 7 parts of the chakras. I think that's a bit intense. I personally would do a week on each one, but you can either do it intuitively or you can go through the order that is in there. But what I have found from people that have done it is that they are feeling more stable. The things that were rocking their world, they're going, oh, okay. And then they're just sort of like moving forward. And instead of, they said, I'd sit inside and I'd be worrying about everything that I'd said and done or not said. So the way that I wanted to do it is that it was accessible to everybody, something that you didn't have to book an appointment
Yeah.
to sort of like sit there. So you could do it at midnight if you really wanted to. I wouldn't suggest it, but it's those different parts, because what I want to do is empower people.
Yeah.
And the world is always changing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we talk about this a lot about people taking responsibility back
Yes.
instead of asking people constantly to fix them, make it right, make it easy.
Yeah.
It's about turning the tables and looking within, and what can I do to help myself, and what tools can I use to do that. So I think this is a fantastic program for everybody to explore. Can I just ask one more question? So if somebody's going to run through the 7 chakras, maybe on a weekly, like, one a week, is there a one that they should perhaps start with to work in an order, if somebody doesn't know where they should be starting?
So if you don't know, like you don't have a specific goal in mind, I would start with the root.
Yeah.
And the reason I would start with the root is that you work from the root right up to the crown. People are tempted to go in for the crown and work their way down. But the way that I see it is that by the time you get up to the crown chakra, the energy is really high. If you start off with that, you might end up feeling quite lightheaded and a bit woozy, and you might think, whoa, this is too much for me. But if you start and you ground yourself in and you work up them, it's like a flower opening. That's how I see it, and that's how I keep being shown it whenever I go near the program. It's like, yeah, this flower opening of our soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, another question for the listeners, really. Can you just give maybe one thing, emotional or physical, that they could kind of have as an example if that chakra was out of balance? So could you give one small example for each of the chakras that somebody may be feeling if that particular chakra is out of kilter?
Yeah. So we talk about the root chakra. So that's very much linked into survival and safety. So if that's not in a great space, we can feel very much that something bad's not gonna, it's just not gonna be okay. Then if you move up to the sacral chakra, that's very much about our stability, and it can be financial links as well. So as well as creative, in fact, I could go on forever. But yeah, so with the creative, it might be that you feel that you've got this creative block, that you can't turn your passion into something that would maybe bring in income. So that links in the creativity with the passion and the finances. With the solar plexus, that's very much like that tummy tuck, that anxiety, that thing of like, oh gosh, I don't feel very confident. It's, a lot of even self-doubt can come in there, even though we think of that often more up in the head chakras. But it is very much about that lack of confidence, that when people turn themselves in and they're sort of like they're holding over, it's because they're trying to protect that solar plexus. And then when we move up to the heart chakra, that can be about love and affection and people wanting to have connection with somebody, but at the same time, there's this wall there. And it can be what it's like, well, I've been hurt before, or my ancestors have been really badly hurt. So I'm not gonna really let you in, but I really want to let you in. So there's this contraction and push-pull goes on there. Then when you come to the throat, it's about that self-expression. So it can be that maybe you can't speak up. Maybe you feel that when you do speak up, no one hears you. So what's the point? So we close ourselves down. Then with the brow, that can be very much linked into our intuition, but it's also linked into the pineal gland and therefore then the rest of the endocrine system. But that can be that sense of knowing. But interestingly enough, what I've been finding with that as well is it's linked into the ears. So very often when you start to clear the crown area, it clears out the ear side, the ear chakras as well. Always, but it's I find fascinating part with it. And then when you move on to that, the crown, that is about that connection into one's own higher self. And it's that inner, deep inner knowing when something is right or not. Now, that can be linked into other parts of the body as well, but it is that connection in with ourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I'm sure that will be really helpful to anyone who's listening, just to get a kind of a sense of what can happen when those particular chakras maybe aren't flowing freely. So thank you for that. So you talk about the chakras being portals of energy.
Mhm.
What do you mean?
I know it's such a funny way of saying it, isn't it? But to me, the chakras are like a doorway. They are a doorway into our field, into our ancestors, into our other lifetime and information of energies. So whether you believe in other lifetimes or not, because I know a lot of people don't, and I still am on the fence about whether I believe it or I don't, but I've just heard so many different things that there is something there. And then as I was looking at the chakras, it was like it was like an energy portal, this access of a gateway into our own energy field, into our soul records, like within the Akashic records. So that's how it helps us get into what the patterns are around that area too. And that's why I call it like a portal, like a doorway. It's like I'm going to open the solar plexus doorway and I'm going to see what are the patterns that are in here. What's going on in your ancestors' life that's been linking into that? Then start to clear it. And it just again it dissolves so many different parts. And then we become more and more aligned with us and who we are.
Yeah. So if somebody is learning about the chakras and they've got the information there, how do they actually start to feel the chakras or embody the information that you're sharing with them?
So the embodiment will come through a different way. So when you're doing the water program, you're sipping the water, so it's physically going into your body. So that's one part of the embodiment. If you're doing the MP3, you are listening. So your subconscious is starting to release the old patterns. And what I also say is when I'm doing the meditation is I get people to place their hands over that chakra area so that they're becoming more and more aware of their own body, because once we become more aware of it, then we can start to feel like, oh, something feels a bit off at that area. Okay, let me just do the water program. It takes less than a minute, and that's you set for the day.
Yeah.
But that allows you to embody and to be aware, because, like we've mentioned before, so often we are not embodying our own healing.
Yeah.
We are feeling that somebody else needs to fix us. And you might say, well, isn't that the same with this program? But it's not, because the program is there designed to help you to embody yourself, to empower yourself
Yeah.
with the help of a tool.
Yeah. Yeah. I really hear that. So how does your approach, how does your chakra clearing program differ from chakra meditations and other healing programs? What is the difference?
What I feel is the difference is that because I've got the water program that's in there, so you are starting to change on a physical level by drinking the programmed fluid. Um, you've got within the meditation tapes, I say it's a meditation, but it's really clearings. So I imbue with the work that I've been doing over the last 30 years, lots of different clearings inside the MP3. So you've got my voice, then there is some gentle music, and then in amongst all of that, I'm actually imbuing other correctional processes to help you to let go of the things that were in a low vibration and make the new choices to move forward. So for me, it's more than a meditation, because the changes that you get are deeper and longer lasting. And as I say, because you've got forever access, you can bring out of your box whenever it is that you need it. Yeah.
Great. So for anybody who's feeling called to explore the chakra clearing program, what is their next step? What can they do to reach you?
Okay, so this program, because it is a standalone self-study program, I say study because there's information in there about the chakras and the auric field. But what you can do is you can just go ahead and you can purchase it. And if you have any questions when you're in there, then you just through the program contact me and I can help to sort of advise you. But I always say go with what feels right. It something has to feel right and it has to really sing to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Yeah. And what I would say to anybody who's a listener is if you are called to explore energy in more detail, if you are inquiring within yourself how you can begin to allow your own energy to be clearer, to flow more freely, so that you can walk tall and not feel stuck or sticky in the situation that you may find yourself in, then this chakra clearing program is a must. It is full of wisdom, and also there are so many different ways that you can help to clear the chakras. As Amanda said, through the water, through the activation, but also through the knowledge and wisdom that you will glean from the program. So thank you, Amanda, for sharing that in more detail. And can you put a link on the bottom of this interview so that people will just know how to access the course? And yes, please, explore energy as much as you can, because the more aligned we are, the better we are. Thank you, Amanda Brooks. It has been an absolute pleasure to explore this with you.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate it. And it has just reminded me as well, there is a free workshop, which is about an hour long, which gives people information about the chakras. So I'll put that link below too.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.